And everybody should be thinking about being involved with public access.
Talking to people about what it means to be a public access producer and how easy it actually is to do.
You're also the camera person as well as the spokesperson as well as the producer and director. Hi, I'm Robert Langley and I have the Cablevision show called Peace and Justice. It's on Channel 20 at 7:30 p.m. It's a great time slot and we're very pleased to have it. Jean has her show which is called Just Peace. That's on Mondays on Channel 20 at 3:30. We want to just explain that the process is very simple. If you don't own a camera, you can still produce a TV show. They have facilities that are there, but you have to take a little basic training that they do about how to use TV cameras in the studio. You can produce the shows in the studio, but you have to be on a waiting list to gain access. It's a lot easier if you're a self-producer and you can do things independently because you control everything that you do and you just drop the tape off after you edit it and they'll put it on. As long as you give them 72 hours to not screen the tape, but have it ready to go. So you can do it without a camera. If you have a camera, it's a lot better to be there, but if you want to have an idea for a show and you want to produce it in the studio, you can still do that. They will teach you how to edit if you want to take a course on editing. They'll teach you about a lot of different production techniques. So if you don't know it on your own and all you have is a lot of great ideas, you can still have the opportunity to actually do a show.
What does a high-end professional setup go for?
Cameras, you can get a camera to do the job from anywhere between $250 to $5,000. The thing is about
$350.
I don't know. It's about $2,000 that I got for $1,400. I had to do that on the internet. What you compromise is the ability to shoot in low light. This thing I can shoot in very low light and not worry about it. It's one of the reasons I got it because it helps me shoot it in less than ideal circumstances, whether you're at a music event or a political event. But even still, you can compensate for that by making sure there's enough ambient light wherever you do your shooting.
Has taken the step of securing the slot by filling out an application and submitting it to cable. You have to do it. You have to follow this step. It's get the application, fill it out, put down your preference for time slots. There's 10 of them. You can pick it however you want, you know, Monday at 7, Tuesday at 7, Wednesday at 7, next Monday at 7:30, whatever it is, and then they'll call you when they fish it out of the bowl and say, you're up, here's your available slots. You know, and then you make a choice, and then for the next 6 months, you have that time in your name. You know, people are taping town board meetings, you know, a lot of public, you know, I saw the other night, the Smithtown Town Board meeting is on, a little heated exchange, you know. All you need to do is get a copy of the application. I didn't bring mine tonight, but I know there must be one around.
There's two.
You're required to live within a cable district. Basically, Long Island is set up into certain cable districts. Nassau County and Western Suffolk is under the Woodbury system. Most of Mid-Suffolk is under the Hauppauge/Brookhaven system, which is the same basic system. Riverhead has a system. East Hampton has a different thing. But it's a district, and as long as you live in the area, that isn't covered. You don't even have to have cable TV. You could have a dish. You could have. All you
can even have the same address. Robin and I have the same address.
You can also actually put in to produce the show in all those different regions. Like West Houston has a music show that he does, West Houston Presents. And he did it in Queens because he lives in Queens. It's now in Nassau County, and it's also in Hauppauge-Brookhaven. So he's able to do it. He's got to juggle a lot of different things, but he was able to get that on at all 3 different locations, which is great when you're able to do that. So if you're motivated, you can get it done. You can reach more people is the goal.
I think Glendora, as I mentioned, you know, she's been on for like 30 some odd years. She's a public access pioneer, and she's on in probably 50 or 60 cable markets around the country. So she's really been dedicated to this for years.
And I'm sorry, I think that you can, I think when you start, some people just don't edit. So if somebody is new and they don't think they know things very well, they could just shoot 29 minutes.
All I would say to somebody is shoot smart. Think in your head where it is. When the thing is over, like when I'm done saying something and that's the end of my particular statement, you stop the camera. And then you want to bring somebody else up to do it, that's fine. Me, I can get a lot of dead time in there and I can just keep piecing it and cutting it out when it's not interesting or whatever, or get rid of whole pieces. So you don't have to edit. Some cameras have the ability for you to edit 8 times. You can just sort of stop something and sort of drop it out. You're able to look at that. Well, a lot of cameras don't allow you to do that.
What's the format you have to use?
You have a choice of a lot of different formats. You can use good old standard VHS, which is the cassettes that everybody has. You can use half-inch videotape, which is more professional, but it's still that kind of a tape. You can use a DVD format, give them a done DVD that you can burn. You can edit it on a computer, burn it on the computer, and hand it in, and it's done. You can use mini DV or regular DV cam, which is another format. So it's multi-format.
Wow.
DV cam is the professional version of digital video. The consumer version is mini DV, which is exactly the same tape that's run at a slightly different pitch. So it doesn't really mean anything.
Really?
The point is you can give them just about anything.
DV cam, huh?
Yep, DV cam is fine. You can use that, or a mini DV
This?
is good. That's mini DV. And all I do is I edit this stuff out, take it, I have a little mixing board that I bought, which allows me to put 2 and 3 cameras in. I can fade in,
Wow.
fade out, freeze something of that, or use chroma key background.
There's been a couple times where one time I saw a band playing and just the sound was awful. It was just like somebody in the audience recording the band and you barely heard the music.
The sound is the difficulty with that. That's the only thing I'll say with music. And I happen to have recording equipment and mixers and all these things where I can jack up the signal, I can reproduce it, I have digital delay, I can do anything to it to kind of enhance it to make it a little bit better than it is. In fact, I really bring it up to a high level and then equalize it so that it will come across as good as possible. The reason it's like that is because of the thing called bandwidth. They're only going to give you so much bandwidth on a given show because it's not the same as you would get on a regular television station. Although on 115 you get better quality and more bandwidth because it's digital. So the quality you're going to get is probably better. Although I was looking at the video we shot of Washington, beautiful, absolutely clear stuff. There was no degradation of signal at all. It was absolutely wonderful. So the point is, any of those formats will get you where you want to go.
The key thing that I wanted to mention is you don't have to do what Gene and Robert are doing is wonderful. This is what you hope, creative people doing creative, wonderful things. But even if you said, well, I just want to see a good program, maybe I could get a time slot and I could air some of the material that Gene and Robert, Terry, or myself were.
Right,
Democracy
Brian
Now.
has great DVDs, right?
Yeah, the DVDs people make.
Now, if you want to do a show, you have to know that you have 6 months worth of stuff. Like, what if you just want to do 1 or 2
Then
shows
the best
that
thing
you
to
can
do
think
is
of?
make friends with the producer and do something if you want to
You
do
can
something
rerun shows.
on health,
For
nutrition,
6 months?
healing. You want to do
Just
stuff on
about.
healing or world nutrition or anything like that. You can produce a whole thing. You have the idea and somebody else can do it. And then you get 1 or 2 things that are actually on. Then you make a copy of the DVD for yourself. So you can then show that to other people if you're doing public speaking or venues. It doesn't always have to be shown. Once you have this material, you could burn it to DVD and bring it to events and then show it there.
And the other thing I wanted to say was related to what Wendy said about if you could fill it up. When it was a little bit hard for Ian and I to get tapes because we don't have a TV and we didn't have a video camera. So we would just juggle and get Brian and Terry to lend us tapes and get things that we thought would be interesting to be on. And I heard somebody say that they don't like repeats. But it's okay to repeat. If you think about it, would it be horrible, thinking of the whole media culture we have, thinking of all the repeats that they have on commercial television, if somebody made a tape that said, impeach Bush, impeach Bush, impeach Bush, and they played it once a week for 6 months, is there really a problem with that? So if you produce one good show and you wanted
Hi,
people
welcome
to
to
see
Impeach
it,
Bush. Our topic tonight is Impeach Bush.
that's probably how the major parties do talking points. That's how you do propaganda. So if you want to heal the world and make peace, it's perfectly wonderful if you do one really good show and show it all the time. And if that's how you get started on your mission to have progressive and peace TV, then that's a great way to get started.
And the thing that Brian was alluding to is the fact that we can exchange media. We can actually take something and put it on our show. I can give him something, he gives something to me. I can give something to you, whatever else it is. And this way it kind of gets out there for more people to see.